And what's your name, bro?
T.Y.
Okay, so it said that thy sons and daughters are given to another people. Everything that we are saying in this Bible happened to us, and that's why we have this physical evidence right here, right? So the thing is, read verse 41. Now, when we were sold to another slave plantation, right? So when we were sold to another slave plantation, we became the property of that slave plantation owner. That's how you get your last name. So what's your last name? Huh? Moore. Right. Your last name Moore? Right. Okay. Now, the thing is that that name Moore, that name Moore is Latin, that means black. Just like the name nigger in Latin means black as well. You know what I'm saying? But because if you do you know the history of the Moors?
I don't know it all, but I just know something.
As into the Dark Ages? Okay, all right. Read that, verse 41.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
He said our sons and daughters will go into a captivity. They'll be sold to another slave plantation, right? So check this out. Go jump to verse 37 real quick. So if I were to ask you what's your nationality and what tribe you from, did you see this sign over here? What would you tell? You're from the tribe of Judah. Okay, so how would you know that you're from the tribe of Judah?
From the Bible.
From the Bible, as into what is the evidence? Give me verse 46. What is the evidence? This is how you will prove it. Read it.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
Read verse 45.
Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed.
Say these curses, right? Read verse 46.
Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
These curses going to be upon us for what?
For a sign.
This is an identification marker. These things happen to us because our forefathers made a covenant with the Most High God, right? And in that covenant, we made an agreement that if we keep His commandments, that we'll be rewarded as a nation of people, that we will rule this planet Earth, that we will be the high above all nations, right? But if we disobey God and go against the covenant that God made with us, He will punish us and penalize us. This is going to the covenant of what God made with us. And the curses is signify who these people is. The people, we are the people that's of that covenant with God. Because we facing the judgments of that covenant. Right? Alright, now read verse 46.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
Read verse 68.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
He said gonna bring us to Egypt again with ships. First time our forefathers walked out of Egypt. Right? But God said this time you're going to Egypt by ships. How do we get to this part of the world? By ships, by cargo slave ships, right? So give me Deuteronomy 5 and 6. Every word has a meaning, right? So how did you come across the knowledge of you knowing that you Israel?
I grew up in the church. Came up in it.
What's the name of the church?
Miracle Temple.
Huh?
Miracle Temple.
Miracle Temple. Did they actually show you in the Bible, according to the prophecies, that you are the children of Israel?
I was young, but they have. I was young growing up.
Okay, so they went over these scriptures that we reading to you now.
Correct.
Okay, all right. Now the key thing is, why did we go into slavery? Why we need conditions? What is the solution? Coming back to the commandments, right? Okay, read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 5 and verse 6. I am the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage.
From the house of bondage. Go back to 68. So, it's good that you know that, right? Now, this is the thing about it. Let's finish that out. Read it.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
And no man won't be able to redeem us from this captivity, right? Read verse 29 real quick. Read verse 29.
Verse 29?
Yeah, read verse 29.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness.
Now, our people is groping in darkness. They're on a search for a purpose. That's why they go to these religion churches. That's why they try to find a way in all these religions, but they in darkness. They blind because they've been destroyed from their true heritage, which is the truth in this Bible. Right? Keep reading.
And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways.
Our people is not going to prosper because the only way we going to prosper by keeping God's commandments. Right? Keep reading.
And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore.
We are the most oppressed people on this planet Earth. Keep reading.
And no man shall save thee.
And no man gonna save us. But the Son of God is the one that's gonna save us out of these conditions. But we have to get right first. Right? Now, give me Sirach 19 and 20. Let me ask you this question, bro. When it comes to knowing who you are, and you know that we got to apply the commandments, right? So what commandments do you know that you are applying, or what you need to apply? That's a good question, ain't it? So, frankly, to be real, it's commandments that you need to know in order for you to apply, right? Because in order for you to know the commandments of God, that is the knowledge of God, is his commandments. In order for you to have the knowledge, you have to read, study, congregate. You have to come around like-minded brothers. You got to separate yourself from the ways of this world. Because let God be true and every man a liar. If he can't be proved by the word of God, don't believe him.
That's right.
For real. If it ain't, thus says the Lord, don't believe that garbage. Right. Don't follow that garbage. Real talk. Read that.
Sirach chapter 19 and verse 19. The knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life.
This is the true doctrine that will make you live. The knowledge of the commandments of God. This is the true knowledge. Right? Keep reading.
And they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality.
Now, this is what we seeking, the kingdom of heaven, eternal rulership. Right? In our new God-like bodies. Keep reading.
The fear of the Lord is all wisdom. And in all wisdom is the performance of the law.
Wisdom is what?
The performance of the law.
Wisdom is the performance of the law. You have to start doing the law of God. Right? Now, give me Leviticus 23 and 3. Now, the brother had went over the fringes with you, right? The reason why we wear fringes. It always been our people custom. Always been our people tradition to wear fringes. And the reason, the key source is by commanded of God, us wearing fringes with the borders of blue to remind us to keep his commandments of the covenant that he made with us. That's why we dress this way. We always had dressed in this attire until we was destroyed from the lack of knowledge when they took them iron and yokes off our necks. Emancipation Proclamation. That's where you get the word emancipated from. We was emancipated from our true heritage. We was emancipated from slavery. You understand? We still mentally and spiritually enslaved in Babylon the Great, which is the United States of America. Read that.
Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 3. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation.
A holy convocation. That means you're supposed to congregate with like-minded brothers, right? Because these times that you must start applying what you know and learn what you need to apply. In order for you to do that, you must congregate around like-minded brothers. God is calling you to join his army to wake up his lost sheep.
What club was that at?
Admit that a lot of people don't even realize they.
I've called her. She hasn't responded. I've called her more than a few times.
But the Zulu nation, I'm like, what the hell is this? I know nobody know what I'm talking about. You'll leave me on the island by myself. I don't know what the hell Bishop's talking about. That's what y'all do. Then after class, yeah, I knew what you were talking about. I just don't want to be caught out there. The hell is this? Get on my damn nerves. So read that again, 31.
Because God set you here for a purpose. That's why you here right now. You know what I'm saying? You are one of the prophets that has returned on this planet Earth to do what you are required to do, is to serve God. Because God is calling the men to lead his nation of people. Keep reading.
Ye shall do no work therein. It is a Sabbath of the Lord.
All right, now, you got to congregate on the Sabbath day. You know what day the Sabbath day is? What day is the Sabbath day? Saturday. So, do you know what we have to do on the Sabbath day? We got to congregate. And it said we shouldn't do no work. We understand that. So what else we can't do on the Sabbath day? Well, you can fast on different days, right? You can eat on the Sabbath day. But give me that. Give me give me that one first. Give me that one first. Read it.
Exodus chapter 35 in verse 3. Ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitations upon the Sabbath day.
Now, that goes into not cooking on the Sabbath day, right? Because you kindle fire to stay warm and stuff like that, but when you say don't kindle no fire on the Sabbath day, that means no cooking. We're going to get the precept today. Give me Exodus 16:23. Read that.
Exodus chapter 16 and verse 23. And he said unto them, this is that which the Lord has said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which ye will bake today.
The day before the Sabbath day, which is Friday. Bake what you will bake today. You got to prepare for the Sabbath day. Keep reading.
And sieve that ye will sieve.
They're going to boiling. When you baking the boiling, you're using fire. It goes into cooking, right? Keep reading.
And that which remaineth over, lay up for you to be kept until the morning.
Now, that's what it goes into, right? So we shouldn't cook on the Sabbath day, right? Give me Nehemiah 10:31. Now, it's another commandment that we shouldn't buy or sell on the Sabbath day as well. So it's no working, no cooking, no buying and selling on the Sabbath day. And we both supposed to congregate in fellowship in the spirit of Christ, right? Read that.
Nehemiah chapter 10 verse 31. And if the people of the land bring ware in any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath or on the holy day.
Or on any God's holy days, his feast of dedication, his new moons, his Passover, the feast of tabernacles. You know what I'm saying? All these high holy days, we keep it holy, right? Because it's different from these other days. You know what I'm saying? Now, no buying, no selling, no cooking, and you must congregate, and no working, right? So let me show you the importance of that. Give me Sirach 37:12 real quick. Let me show you the importance of that, bro. Because you can't do this by yourself. You can't do this by yourself. God is about unity. He's about unity. God is unifying his men, the leaders of his nation, to wake our people up. God is building an army, right? We're going to go over all that in the Bible for you to give you clear understanding that you must be part of God's army. That's what it goes to congregation. That's what it goes to church. That's what it goes to camp, right? Because when it say church is mentioned, it's talking about Israel. When it says army, it's talking about Israel. When it says camp, it's talking about Israel. Read that.
Sirach chapter 37 and verse 12. Be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord.
You got to be continually with godly men that knows to keep the commandments of the Lord. You got to be continuing with godly men, so you can know which way to go. And you got to be thus says the Lord, because they the ones that keep the commandments. Keep reading.
Whose mind is according to thy mind.
Our mind is according to your mind, because you know we the children of Israel, right? You know why we in these conditions. You know that. So that's why it's important for us to come back to the commandments of God. How you doing, sister? Doing okay?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
All right. Like, check this out. Read that.
Sirach chapter 37 and verse 12. But be continually with the godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord, whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry.
That's why you got to be around like-minded brothers, because God is about unity in the spirit of Christ. You understand, bro? Now give me Zephaniah 2:1. Give me that real quick, because God is about unity.
That's right.
And the reason he's about unity, and that's what Christ is speaking into when he says that we need to be together because we are against this world. They hated Christ, and they gonna hate us. Real talk. Right. They already hate us anyway by us not knowing. Right. But they hate us because they know who we are. Okay. That we the greatest people on this planet Earth.
That's right.
This right here stems from hatred. You see this, sister? Who is this? This who? Come a little closer, sister. Come a little closer. Come a little closer. Let me show you something. You said this is who? Who is that? Okay, who was that right there? You don't know. See, that's why it's very important that we need to know. That's why it's very important that you need to learn how to walk as a prophet of God. So you can show our people, because they still in darkness. Because they've been taught by these liars and these oppressors.
That's right.
To keep us dumbed down and destroyed. And that's the main image that they use right there. Read that.
Zephaniah chapter 2 verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
We are a nation that is not desired. All these nations hate us because we are God's chosen people. Give me Psalms 83 real quick. Because we are God's chosen people. Sister, what's your name? Keisha. Okay, Miss Keisha. If I ask you, because I already asked you about Christ, because we're going to go over that as well. But if I ask you, what is your nationality or what race you descend from, what would you tell me, sister? African American. Okay, who taught you that?
My parents.
Okay, so we basically had got that term African American in 1987. We wasn't always called African American, sister. Before African American, they called us Afro American. Before Afro American, they called us Negroes. Before Negroes, they called us colored people. Black, nigger. So why they keep giving us these different terms, terminologies, these labels that got nothing to do with our nationality? You got to think about that, sister. They keep lying to us. What they did, all these nations have been made a covenant with our main enemy, which is the Edomites, Edom. This so-called Caucasian, the one that took the image of Christ, destroyed it, and put it in their image and their likeness. Read that.
Psalm chapter 83 and verse 1. Keep not thy silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
Sister, Miss Keisha, you gotta go?
I got kids and stuff in car.
Okay, sister, you got a flyer?
I got 2 of them.
All right, now, check that information out. Read that again.
Psalm chapter 83 and verse 1. Keep not thy silence, O God. Hold not thy peace. Be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
Now, they that hate thee have lifted up the head, right? Because the same enemies of God is our enemies. Keep reading.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Now, they have taken crafty counsel. They take crafty counsel. They always is setting up laws and policies against our people.
That's right.
They always doing that. You heard that term anti-Semitic? They set that term up, anti-Semitic, against our people. That's mainly straight for us. And our people don't even know what it means, because we are the true descendants of Shem. You know that, right? Keep reading.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Cut them off from what?
Being a nation.
Cut them off from being a nation. Destroy them from their true history. Erase their remembrance. Keep reading.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
The name of Israel be no more in remembrance.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is